Hi, I'm Monica Weitzel, the host of Community Hotline. This weekly program features area nonprofits working hard to make your world a better place. On tonight's show, we start off with talking with the Children's Center. This organization is all about the prevention of child abuse. Next, we'll talk about the Spring Into Wellness Fair taking place right here in Gresham in May. You'll find out how you can connect with some of the resources that you may need. And finally, we end the show on a lighter note with the Oregon Pro Art Chamber Orchestra. Jeff Specht will be here talking about the youth division of the orchestra. We'll even close the night with a performance by a few of those talented youth. So don't go away. It's all here next on Community Hotline. Hi, and welcome to Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel. We're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. We're going to be talking with nonprofit organizations in the area that are doing good things to help the community. Tonight we're going to start off talking with Barbara Peschiera. She is the Executive Director of the Children's Center. Welcome, Barbara.
Thank you for having me.
It's really nice to have you here. Yeah. So the Children's Center, maybe you can tell our viewers who are not familiar with it what it's about and what your mission is.
Okay. Our mission is to support and medically assess children who are suspected victims of child abuse or neglect. We are one of 21 intervention centers that serve Oregon, and our geography is Clackamas County, but a lot of our families and things, they cross borders. So we have a sister center in North Portland called CARES Northwest.
And did that used to go by a different name? Was that a...
Not that I'm aware of.
No? Okay, because I knew there was one in North Portland. So North Portland, Clackamas, and then 19 others throughout the state.
Yes.
Okay. So your main mission is working with children who are suspected victims of child abuse. So how does that work?
If law enforcement or DHS gets a call that there's a suspicion of abuse, they typically will go out and do a field interview. And when they feel like there is a concern and they share that concern, then they'll refer a family to Children's Center.
Oh, okay.
And what we provide that family is wraparound services for the whole family. But where we start is to do a medical exam, a nose-to-toes medical exam.
Nose-to-toes. Yeah. Well, you got to do that, I guess, don't you? Yeah.
Well, a lot of these kids don't have primary care. Or they haven't been seen for, we're diagnosing developmental issues, even dental.
Really?
And so...
It's a pretty comprehensive exam then.
Yeah. The kids and the families tend to spend 2 or 3 hours at our center through the whole procedure. So after the medical exam, then if a child is 4 or older, we'll invite them to do an interview with a specially trained forensic interviewer. And that's the place where they have an opportunity in a very safe environment to describe what happened to them.
So this isn't a police officer?
Right. This is one of our staff members, and again, they're very specially trained to...
You'd have to be very sensitive to the child and their, the way they act and what they're giving out to you, because you have to read between the lines sometimes too, I imagine.
Yeah, and it's specialized because while the law enforcement and DHS are watching that interview, and the point is that the child doesn't have to say it over and over again.
Right.
But it's recorded, and that DVD goes to court, and so it has to be an entirely neutral interview.
You can't lead, you can't...
Right, we don't offer evidence.
You don't suggest.
And it's developmentally appropriate, so it's short words, short sentences.
Okay.
But I think it's a difficult job because even telling a child that they're doing a good job or, you're so brave today would be construed as leading them. So it's...
Like you're giving them credit for saying what you wanted to hear, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that would be very difficult.
And then the final piece is that the family has access to what we call family support services. So this is where the non-offending caregiver, as we call them, meets with a therapist, really for crisis counseling. A lot of these families may have their own trauma that is being triggered by this. They may need housing.
Right. That's usually there's something else going on there, I imagine.
Right. And they come in with a lot of emotion. They're angry at somebody. They feel guilty that their child got hurt. And so we refer them to ongoing therapy, mental health counseling, and we're getting really good at that handoff so that that's really the path to where those kids can continue to heal. And they can heal. When they get the help that they need, they can heal.
God, it's so important. I mean, to not be able to deal with that as a child and grow up having that pain of being abused must be a horrible thing.
Yeah.
What about the non-offending parent? Are they not also often the victims of some kind of like domestic violence?
There's a lot of overlay between domestic violence.
So if you see that, I mean, probably the police or whoever has already seen it too, but then is that something that you refer them elsewhere?
Yes.
So you have a lot
If
of
there are
resources.
ongoing domestic violence issues, then that's one of the places we would refer them to Clackamas Women's Services,
Okay,
which has an
okay,
advocacy and
right.
takes care of that. Another huge overlay is illegal drug use.
Oh, yeah.
So we are pioneers. We are assessing for drug endangerment more than any of the other centers. In fact, only 3% of the centers in the country do what we're doing. But we'll do a hair test. And so we're not pulling hair. We never hurt children. But we're cutting a certain amount of hair, and then we test for 9 different substances. And we can see in the last 3 months what they've been ingested or exposed to.
That's interesting because when you said the drug abuse, I thought the parents and that, because they'll lose control because they're under the influence, but that's not what you're talking about.
No. And the other thing I'm not talking about is teenagers smoking pot, because we don't do anything to a child unless they give us permission.
Okay.
And so these are really little kids. It's the little kids who are most vulnerable for all forms of abuse with limited communication and social networks.
Right. And they're little.
And,
they're little. I mean, what are you going to do against an adult? So what are the ages that you work with? Do you work up to 18-year-olds?
We do. We work up to
younger?
18. We see all forms of abuse, so physical, sexual, emotional, and then there are 5 kinds of neglect. So we will diagnose all of those. And we do more than 400 assessments a year, and that's just Clackamas County.
Wow, that's kind of staggering. That's mind-blowing to think about that.
Yeah, there are over 11,000 reports, confirmed reports of child abuse in this state every year.
Oh my goodness. Can you tell me what the 5 neglect?
I hope I can get them. Supervisional, medical, educational, emotional, and there's one more. Physical.
Yeah, I was just saying physical. I got that one. Yeah, ding, ding, ding.
But it's interesting because when we do 450 assessments, there's more like 800 concerns. So often these children are coming from complicated situations where, you think there's a concern of sex abuse, and then we discover a bruise behind the ear, hair missing, and so then we'll ask about that.
You really have to be kind of holistic in your approach to the family, I would imagine, because there's so many different layers of things that could be going on.
Yeah, and we really want to empower our families to give that child what it needs.
Yeah.
Because child abuse it pulls the rug out from the whole family.
Yeah.
And so a lot of that family support is what to expect from your child, how to talk to your child about what's happened, and what kind of resources do the parents need. And often the parents need therapy too.
I would imagine so. So your support isn't just for the child; it's really for the whole family, and trying to get to the root of the problem and help them. Do the parents, are they receptive to that? I mean, I would imagine you said sometimes they come in, they're angry and and embarrassed, probably, and guilty, but for the most part, are you able to get them to see that this is for the betterment of the entire family to
Yes, because there is nothing that mandates that these families come to Children's Center.
All right.
It is offered by DHS and law enforcement, but it is voluntary.
Okay. Well, then that's good, because then they want to be there. They want to make things better.
They want help. Yeah.
It's got to be a really heartbreaking job sometimes, I think.
You find out that there are a lot of ways to hurt children, and it is disgusting, it's sad. It's really hard to wrap your mind around because it's not a rational sort of event. But I refer to our children as the lucky kids because they're the ones who are getting help. And we know that child abuse is horribly underreported. Probably 10% is reported.
10%?
Yeah.
So you said how many were reported? 11,000 in Oregon last year?
Uh-huh.
Wow. That's really depressing.
1 in 10 children will be abused before they reach the age of 18. And that research has been redone and confirmed for many, many years.
So saying that they've been abused, that could be, it's a whole range of things.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's typically the little kids who are more vulnerable. So we often see 2/3 of our cases are girls.
Yeah.
And more than half are under the age of 7.
Wow. So what can people like me do who I have never really dealt with it on a personal level? I've never, I've been fortunate enough to not have that in my family, at least that I'm aware of. What can people do to help out?
Well, that's a good question because our ultimate vision is to make this a community where abusers don't want to live.
Good, yeah.
But we can't do that alone. That's going to take the whole community. So in addition to supporting our nonprofit through donations, which is always helpful.
Of course.
Yes. But really to be an aware and educated citizen is the most important thing you can do. So when you see signs of abuse or if you think that you're seeing something, it's kind of a gut check. You see something that makes you uncomfortable, you don't really know what you're seeing. We encourage you to call either the Child Abuse Hotline or 911.
Okay.
And then another thing to do, and I'm really excited that Children's Center is moving into the area of prevention, is to be more educated. So we are offering a class called Stewards of Children, and it's a child sex abuse prevention curriculum. It's a 2.5-hour workshop aimed at parents, teachers, people who work with kids. And it really gives them 5 concrete steps that they can take to keep their kids safe.
Oh, wow.
And it educates them about grooming and what that looks like when perpetrators are trying to build a relationship with a child.
Right. When you say grooming, okay, I got what you mean there.
And so when you're, even at a basketball game and you're watching other adults and the way they interact with children, it adds a new filter to the way you interpret things that you see. So I really encourage people to take that class, get educated. Our goal is to reach 5% of the adults in Clackamas County with this program.
Wow.
And the thinking is that that's the tipping point. And so that's 18,000 people. If we could educate 18,000 people in Clackamas County, conversations with parents will change, conversations with the organizations that serve children will change, policies will be more, visible.
Right.
And it will just...
the tipping point to make it so that people don't want to live here if they're abusers.
Exactly. If we can change the norms and indicate that we are a hyper-vigilant kind of community,
and we don't tolerate this,
then it does send a message to people.
You brought a public service announcement. I'd like to show that now if we could, and then there's a couple other things I want to touch on before we run out of time. But let's go ahead and take a look at that now.
Okay.
How would I do a commercial to help stop child abuse? I would start by telling the world that I know the pain of abuse. Then I would say something really creative that would inspire people to do something to stop it. And I would end on a hopeful note about how they can make a difference and keep kids like me safe.
Help stop child abuse. Call or find us online. The Children's Center, a place where healing begins.
Short and powerful. Short and powerful. That was good. Yeah. So before we do run out of time, I know you have a fundraiser, a luncheon. It's Champions for Children. I like that name. Tell me about that, if you could.
So we will be holding this luncheon at Oregon Golf Club on May 13th.
Okay, and where is the Oregon Golf Club?
Westland.
Westland. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and It's going to have a strong program. It's really an opportunity for people to learn more about abuse, the dynamics of abuse, and then also obviously an opportunity to support Children's Center. So
okay, good. And
it's a
more
good
information's on the website. They can go and get, to find out ticket information and that kind of thing.
Yes.
So you've got a workshop that people can attend. You've got a luncheon people can attend. There's also something going into the legislature, you said? What's going on there?
Yes, so we have a bill, the network, the 21 centers have proposed a bill that would change the way we are paid because we're providing a medical service. We bill insurance companies. We don't bill families a penny.
Okay.
Not even a copay.
Wow.
But because our service is so unique, it does not show up in billing codes very well. So we typically get about 10% of our cost.
Oh, wow. That's
So
not
this
bad.
bill would tell the insurance companies and Oregon Health Authority to set a value that reflects the complexity of this procedure and to pay that.
Oh, okay.
So we have a hearing next Tuesday before the Senate Health and Child Services Committee. And then it will go to the full Senate, and it's House Bill 2234.
So people can do a little research on that. If they want to support it, they could write letters, that kind of
Yeah.
thing? Okay.
Yeah,
And you
it's-
probably have information on your website, too. I
Yes, and it's a great bill, and
Okay.
it would be a game changer.
Good.
So
Oh,
we're really
good.
hopeful about it.
Good. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
And we're out of time, Barbara. I really enjoyed talking with you. It's a really deep and heavy subject, but you're doing amazing work, and I'm so glad there's something in our community doing that. And I love the move from intervention to prevention. Good deal.
Well, thank you for having
You
me.
bet. Thank you. And thanks for watching this first segment of Community Hotline. We'll be right back with more.
Coming here to shoot my documentary was more than I ever would have dreamed of doing.
This is a community media station.
It was phenomenal.
Ready, camera one.
What is it about this place that makes so many different people come together?
Ready, camera two.
Very professional, experienced people.
You can use these industry standard pieces of equipment.
Ready, camera three. Take three.
You don't have to be rich to do this.
Open people's eyes to something they've never even thought of before.
Cool stuff happens. It becomes this community.
That's going to really change who's telling the stories and who's controlling the messaging.
What local community media is to us is literally our lifeline to what's going on in the lives around us.
The absolute most important thing that happens in your neighborhood.
People's local communities are usually what's most important to them.
Because we're the faces, the smiles, the peoples, and the personalities of the community.
To not only give people a voice, but to have their voice heard.
Local government is a very important part of our daily lives. You might think the decisions that affect us most are made in Washington, D.C., but frequently what happens at the local level has the biggest impact. Safe and clean streets and parks, local ballot measures to ensure funding for police, these are just a few of the issues that matter most. At MetroEast, we provide gavel-to-gavel coverage of local government so you can see what's happening in your East County cities. Watch city councils, planning commissions, and school boards on these cable channels or online.
Have you ever wanted to create a TV show of your own? Come check out the basic editing class at MetroEast. Our trainers will give you the skills you need to flex your creative muscles. Using our state-of-the-art IMAX and Final Cut Pro 10, you can work with your own videos, add graphics and music, and even drop in cool special effects like green screen and slow motion. The best part? No experience is required. All ages and skill levels are welcome. Find out more on our website at metroeast.org.
Hi, welcome to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel. We're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. We're going to be talking with a couple of ladies here who are going to tell us about an event coming up. We have with us Brianna Bigham, who is the center manager for Ambleside, the Meals on Wheels people. Nice to have you here, Brianna.
Thank you.
And Judith O'Connell, you're the owner of the Mount Hood Adult Day Center. Thanks for coming on the show again, because you have been on before.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's nice to have you here. So before we talk about this collaboration that you have and the event that's going on, maybe you could each take a minute and tell me about what you do. You're the center manager for Meals on Wheels. Tell me about that a little bit.
Well, we serve seniors in the Gresham area, and that encompasses Corbett, Wood Village, Troutdale, and
it's not just Gresham. Yeah,
no.
Gresham area. Yeah.
We really pick up everything basically east of 181st.
Wow.
So we serve out of our center about 240 home delivered meals every day and an average of 80 people in our dining room. So that's Monday through Friday.
That's a lot. And at the county building right down the street.
Yes, right across
right
the
down
street.
the street from MetroEast, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice facility.
It's nice because it's right on the Max line, so
yeah,
8th and Kelly
couldn't be
people
more
can
convenient.
get there. Yeah.
Plus, Ride Connection is there too, so they can bring people. Do they bring people
They
sometimes?
do, actually.
Yeah.
We have 2 regular Ride Connection routes that lead right to our doors.
Perfect,
so,
perfect. So how long have you been there, Brianna?
I actually started at that center about 5.5 years ago. I've been the center manager for 2.5 years. I did focus on the Meals on Wheels program before that.
So the Meals on Wheels, there are other locations.
Yes, there are 31 locations in all. Overall, Meals on Wheels people serves about 5,000 meals every weekday in the yeah, and that would be in Washington, Clark, and Multnomah counties.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's a lot of cooking.
It is.
But from what I understand, that the interaction is as valuable as the food.
It really is. I think that's the piece that people kind of don't get until they're on the service, is that it's really about, our mission is also about not allowing a senior to experience social isolation.
Which is great. That's great. And plus, when people are going into their homes, they can kind of see if something's changed, or they could be one of the people that will report if something is wrong.
Absolutely. We had just a couple of weeks ago where a driver reported a client wasn't home, and we thought that doesn't happen, and so we called the police, and they found that the client was in need of medical help.
How great is that they were able to do something and not wait till it was too late. That's
exactly.
a very serious thing. So Judith, you also deal with a similar population, but in a different way. Why don't you tell us about the Day Center?
5 years ago, I met Brianna, and we worked together with the same mission, trying to make sure that seniors aren't finding themselves isolated at home. And I opened the Day Center, which provides day services for seniors and adults with disabilities. So family caregivers can bring their loved ones to us for the day. And we provide warm meal through Meals on Wheels and social and cognitive stimulus, art therapy, horticulture therapy, and that gives the family caregiver a break for the day.
A much needed break, I'm sure.
Yes.
Being a caregiver is a really exhausting and 24/7 job.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So it's as much for them as it is for the
We were
people that are
shocked to
there.
find out that the morbidity rate for family caregivers is actually higher than the people they care for.
Wow.
So that just drove our passion even further, and now we serve 20 to 30 seniors a day out of the center, and we have a really great program that helps people where they're at. So if somebody's in late stage dementia, we're able to help them. We help with restroom, we help with physical care, walkers. If somebody's early stage, then we're getting them into the cognitive stimulus classes.
Try to keep them
absolutely
at the highest level,
yes,
functioning level that they can be.
Their highest cognitive level they can be at. And a lot of times we will have people who come in and they've been slowly isolating themselves. When your partner has a disease, you tend to isolate yourself a little bit. Your friends stop coming over quite as much. And then you find yourself just alone.
And resentful probably, and
yeah,
lonely. And
yeah, and you have to get the dishes done. You have to get the laundry done. You need to get those things done. And so we end up watching television. And the
getting
brain
depressed.
Yeah, the brain is less active when you're watching television than even when you're sleeping. So imagine what that's doing to an already compromised dementia brain. So we kind of see a bit of a perk of the brain when they come in. The eyes brighten after about 3 weeks. It's really fun to see that.
You can really see that.
Yeah, we have caregivers pick up. Well, they'll drop and say, "Oh, they're not going to like it. It's just not their thing. They don't sing." And they come in and they come in and then they do karaoke. So
I love it.
One of our participants that's been with us for 4 years now, I learned a new song, which is pretty rare, and he learned a new song, and we had their anniversary at the center, and so we really become part of people's lives, much like
part of the family. I imagine.
Yeah, Meals on Wheels does. You come in and have that social piece and become friends. And
so you have regulars.
Oh yes, yes. Most people are on a schedule.
Do people drop in occasionally, or is it mostly? I would think it'd be mostly
most
people on a regular schedule.
Are on a schedule. There are drop-ons on occasion.
And if somebody were interested in bringing their loved one there, or if that person was in a place where they could actually contact you, do they make an appointment to interview with you, or they just come on in? Or
they can come on in, or they can call. If they want to make sure that they're talking to me, then they probably better call ahead and make sure I'm not off squeezing my grandbabies or something like that. But we've got an amazing team. We've grown through interns and volunteers over the years. We work with Mount Hood Community College. We work with Ride Connection. We actually have outings that we work with Leslie at Ride Connection through. So
Leslie's great.
We've been, really partnered with our community, and the community's given back, and we've.
That's a great segue to talk about this event that you have coming up. So this is the Spring into Wellness Fair. And really that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's partnering with other community organizations.
Well, yeah, and if you think about, the day, a day in the life of a senior who might have challenges with mobility, have not be able to drive anymore, there are all these great resources that are available, but it can be really hard to access them.
Where do you begin?
Exactly, and we so often, when people sign up for Meals on Wheels, they'll kind of get a referral from a doctor's office or a neighbor or somebody that just happened to have heard about us. And one of the big things that we hear is, I had no idea that you guys were around.
Really?
Yeah, and so this is a chance for a lot of the area agencies to get that face time. And we're doing it in a building that was designed for seniors to be kind of one-stop shopping.
And the county building?
Yeah, the county building, because in that building there's a senior center, there's medical and dental, aging, disability. So we were thinking Ride Connection. So we're thinking they're already there, so let's bring it to them.
And it's very ADA?
Yes,
is that right?
It's very accessible.
It's flat, there's no stairs, it's just easy to get around in, big wide doorways.
Exactly, yeah. And the idea is just to provide answers to people that they may not even know that they're looking for, because maybe they think that this challenge they've been dealing with is just something that they just have to deal with, but there could be a resource for it.
Yeah.
And what a great, wonderful surprise to find out, oh, look, I don't have to do this alone, or I don't
Well, we just found out today there's normally a family caregiver grant through the county that if you're a family caregiver and you don't qualify for Medicaid, you have low funds. And normally it's $600. Well, we found out today that they have excess funds, and now they have $1,200 grants.
Really?
And you know, how would you know that as a family caregiver? You need to know somebody to know that.
Well, it's
so,
going to be keeping up, you know, checking. I mean, where would you even begin?
Yeah, so we immediately go and call all our family caregivers. Hey, these funds are available. But like you say, a lot of times you don't know what you don't know. So it's important to have somebody advocating for you. So they can get the information. How do you get on Medicaid? What's the difference between assisted living and skilled nursing?
Those things are confusing.
They are. It's a lot of information to be expected to know.
And it's often information that we're needing to know. Adult children that are working full time and that have kids themselves, you know, they have these busy lives and they're trying to take care of mom and dad. So it can be really overwhelming.
Yeah, you take the help if you can get it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So who are some of the organizations that you'll be working with at this fair?
Well, we have all the organizations that are in the building are going to be represented.
Great.
So Aging and Disability, the Senior Center, the Northwest Jamboree and Ride Connection.
The Northwest Jamboree.
It's really cool. They get together one Sunday a month and they play acoustic instruments. So it's just for anybody to come.
Awesome. It's a social thing.
Yeah, it is so cool.
It's a social thing, but it probably also improves their cognitive ability. And,
It's pretty awesome.
Like fun.
So all of those organizations are going to be there, along with, we decided 10 different assisted living facilities? Or
adult care.
There's a lot of them here in this area.
Yeah, memory care, assisted living, independent living, skilled nursing will be there.
Perfect. Yeah, and also we have the library coming in to talk about their program that takes books to seniors. The Alzheimer's Association is coming in. City of Gresham is going to come in to talk about their go-kart program.
Their go-kart program.
It's a
intrigued.
Now
we're intrigued. You'll have to go.
I will have to check it out when I'm there. I will be there. So
it's a go-kart with your name on it.
Go-kart. Okay. I am intrigued. So this is going to be on May 11th, which is a Monday.
Yes.
Right, and that is from 10 to 2.
Yep.
Right in the middle of the day there.
10 to 2.
And so who can go to this?
Anybody. You know, it's geared towards seniors, but my ultimate goal is that in 5 years this can be a community event, because I don't feel like we have enough community resources that are Gresham specific. We tend to put everything in Portland, and that can be a long ways away.
Yeah, it is.
So,
it is.
Yeah, so this year we're focusing on seniors, but there will be some things that really the general community would be able to access.
Well, and really, I mean, as this population grows older, everybody has a senior in their life somewhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know, whether it's in your family or it's a neighbor or whatever. So just knowing that the services are available.
Right.
And because this is a free fair for the people that attend it, right? Yeah. So anybody can come and just check it out. And so what else can they expect there? Will these be booths that people can go to, tables that people can go to find out information? Is that?
Well, it'll be tables set up in 2 different rooms. One of the rooms actually backs up to our dining room, and so they'll get a chance to really see what our dining room service looks like also.
Will the seniors be able to go in there and eat then?
Anybody 60 or over can eat. So we'll be serving lunch from 11:30 to 1. And that's kind of
right in the middle of it. That's
exactly.
Perfect. Yeah,
yep.
That's perfect.
Yeah, and then the other room that we have is going to be right next to the senior center, so it'll be a great chance for people to stop in and see what the senior center does.
Well, so you can bring the senior in your life, and then when they're at lunch, then you go check out the little gift shop there.
There you go.
Gift shop, and you know. They have some really cool stuff down there.
The very, very best place to buy birthday presents and baby shower gifts for little ones. Oh my goodness. Everybody says, where did you get this?
I know, I've got a new little one in my life, so I'm going to be down there spending some money.
Right down the street.
Yeah, that's great. We're almost out of time, so tell me, what else do we need to know about this event? And then what else is going on in your world here?
Just come down, bring people. Okay. Even if somebody doesn't want to or doesn't qualify for lunch, if they're not 60 or over, it's a great chance to check out volunteering as well.
Oh, there you go. So it's a volunteer opportunity. And then there was something else you were telling me about, a little event that was going to be going on down there. What?
We also have a metal recycling event coming up on June 20th, and it's super cool. It's in our parking lot, and people can get rid of their rigid plastics and metal appliances, and just the stuff that's been laying around in your yard that you've been meaning to get rid of for a long time.
Okay.
It's cool.
And then when you turn it in, that money will go to support Meals on Wheels.
Yep, so it doesn't cost them anything to drop it off, and it's a fundraiser for us.
Wonderful. That's perfect. That's a win-win.
Yeah.
Thank you both very much for being here. I'm looking forward to the event. I'll be there, and I think it'll be fun, and it'll be very educational. So I hope a lot of people show up. And if they have questions, your website or Facebook page? What's the best?
Facebook is Meals on Wheels People.
Okay.
And the website is mealsonwheelspeople.org.
Great. Okay. Thanks very much, Judith and Brianna.
Thank you.
You bet. Thanks for watching this segment of Community Hotline. We'll be right back, so don't go away.
My favorite thing about community media is how people find their voice and tell their story.
It's the message of, by, and for a community.
We're a gathering place because it gets people of all sorts of different backgrounds underneath one roof.
It's art, it's technology.
A snapshot of our community.
Going live in 3, 2, 1.
I love my bus driver because he gets me to school on time and I'll never be late.
I love my bus driver because of the fact that they've seen my children and ourselves grow.
Every one of them has been kind and efficient. They're always courteous.
They're part of my neighborhood, part of my everyday.
They help out people when it's unnecessary.
From me being pregnant and going to the doctor's appointment on the bus to now taking them to school and just being familiar with them. And that's what I love about my bus driver.
It's a great system and I like the way it runs.
Some tips? I got some tips for you. I'm the county health officer. I got some tips. You ready? Don't do that. Do not do that. That is not what you... Bad. That is bad. This is what you want. You ready? Here's my tip. Did you notice that form? Look at that. I block the sneeze into the elbow, not the hand. The hand, bad. Hi, nice to meet you. You don't want to shake this hand. This hand is getting in the way of your health. Much better. Have a good flu season.
Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel, and now I am here with Jeff Specht, who is with the Oregon Pro Art Chamber Orchestra, and it's so nice to have you on again.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here.
It is a pleasure. For me, too. You are the music director and conductor for Oregon Art Pro Oregon Pro Art Chamber Orchestra. It's always a mouthful. OPACA?
OPACO is our acronym.
OPACO. There
Yep.
you go. If you can tell our viewers who may have missed just a little bit about the orchestra, because it's a volunteer orchestra, right?
It's a volunteer orchestra, and actually we have a kind of an orchestra family. We have, in the past we've been on the show to talk about the Oregon Pro Art Chamber Orchestra, which is an adult semi-professional orchestra.
Right.
And we also have 2 youth orchestras that are part of the organization as well.
Which we haven't really focused on them in the past.
Right,
have we?
and that's what I'm hoping to talk about tonight, and hopefully give a chance for your viewers to learn a little bit more about the youth programs we offer and the types of opportunities that are available to the young musicians throughout the Portland area.
Great. Well, you very kindly brought a couple of those young musicians with you.
I did.
And I think we should maybe talk to them or just find out who they are, and maybe they can do a little performance for us. I would love that. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Can you tell me your name and where you're from, and then pass the mic over, and then surprise us.
My name is Mackenzie. I am from Portland, born and raised, and I've been playing cello for about 5 years.
Lovely.
I'm Gage O'Callahan. I live in Vancouver, Washington, and I've been playing for about 5.5 years.
Lovely. Thank you. So now you're going to share some lovely music with us. What a nice treat. Lovely. Thank you both so much. That was amazing.
They sound fantastic.
Yes,
tonight.
they do. Do you often have them just in pairs like that, or you have?
One of the highlights of this program is not only the students get an opportunity to play in the chamber orchestra format, so they're with a larger group of peers, but they also get the experience of playing in chamber groups. So you'll get duets like this, you'll get quartets, you'll get octets. We pair them with like-leveled students, and then also they get coaching from some of the best Portland musicians as well.
Nice,
so
nice.
it's one of the highlights we have is they get the orchestra experience, they get the chamber experience, and of course then the outreach experience of performing not only their normal concerts but outreach to schools. So it's a lot of different unique opportunities they get.
The opportunity to perform at that level, is a great experience, I would imagine, and a wonderful thing for somebody's self-esteem and confidence to be able to go out and do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the neat things about our program too is they get that one-on-one attention. They get that close that a chamber experience can only offer is getting that close-knit, more direct contact with the teachers.
I like that. Next time I'm interviewing them. So this is great. You said you have 2 youth orchestras. Is that right?
2 youth orchestras. We have PAX, which is our Pro Art Conservatory Strings, and that's for the younger students who are kind of getting their feet wet with the chamber orchestra experience. Some it's their first orchestra experience. Some have been doing it for a couple of years. Then we have Opaco, which is the Oregon Pro Art Youth Chamber Orchestra, and that's the advanced orchestra for the top wind and string players.
Wow. So how many kids are involved in the program altogether?
Right. Currently, we serve about 80 students throughout the greater Portland area. We have students from Vancouver area, also throughout the Portland metro area.
Like Gage there.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. We have a good sample here of students from the orchestra.
So tell me, if a parent maybe was watching this and they were thinking, I'd really like to have my kid involved in something like that. You need some experience. You need to know how to play an instrument already. How much experience or what level do they need to be at to be?
It varies from the orchestra. The PAX, of course, is for younger students who are just getting their feet wet. The ability to read music, to play at a basic proficient level. For specifics, they can actually go to our website, and when they go to our main page, they click on the button that says Youth Orchestras, and they can click on the button for auditions. It'll have the auditions based on level, based on by instrument, so they can get more specifics, and they can even apply and request more information through our website.
Oh, good. Now, you have auditions coming up this summer, don't you?
This summer we have auditions in June, and they will also have another round in August. And of course, we audition throughout the year as students find out more about us and they want to join us mid-year. We also host auditions as musicians get interested. But June and August are our main audition time frame.
How much of a time commitment is this for youth to be in the orchestra?
They rehearse nearly every week throughout the season. They start
but not
in
every
September.
Day.
Not every day. Currently on Monday nights, depending on the level of the orchestra, the younger orchestra rehearses for a shorter period of time, hour and a half to 2 hours, and then 2 hours to 2 hours and 45 minutes, or two and a half hours rather, for the advanced students.
So that's manageable, I think.
Yeah,
it's manageable.
Yeah. But the experience that's gotten from it, the opportunities, the opportunity to meet other like-minded musicians throughout the community, and the ability to develop their instrument and develop something that they love to do is, you can't really put a time frame on that.
Yeah, I imagine so. You brought some pictures, and I think they'll be kind of showing them as we go through, and encourage people to take a look at that and see what's going on behind the scenes there. What do you think is the most important thing a student gets, besides honing their skills as a musician? Personally, what do kids get out of that?
Well, I think a lot of things. You touched on confidence, building the ability to kind of come out of their shell a little bit, the ability to learn a discipline, to actually have to sit down and practice something.
Discipline itself is a huge thing to learn.
Is a major thing. To do anything well in music, it requires great discipline.
And that's something you need in every job, that you ever have, or just in your life, actually.
But for me, being a chamber orchestra conductor, for me, one of the most important things is the communal act of making music. Music is such, when you play a Beethoven symphony or you play a Rossini overture, like the youth orchestra is playing at their next concert, it requires so many people to put together and to make happen that you get to be a part of something that's greater than yourself. Meet a lot of new people and make beautiful music with other people, and you're part of this thing that creates create something beautiful for the world.
I like that, Jeff. Now, and that wouldn't even have occurred to me just right off the bat that would be a really huge part of it. I mean, we are all members of the the world community, but that's that's a great thing.
Every time someone goes to a concert, whether they're performing or they're just going to listen, are part of that communal process. The audience participates in their way just as much as the orchestra participates.
That's kind of beautiful.
One of the beautiful things about what music does and how it brings people together.
Wow, I like that. I like that a lot. So some of these pictures we've been looking at, these are scenes from just different performances.
Different performances. You'll see some pictures of the adult orchestra in there, but we also have various pictures. Of course, that one was just of the wind section of the youth group.
Now you have performances throughout the year. You have like 4 different main concerts that you do. Is that right? Is it 4?
Yes, the Opaco, the adult chamber orchestra. We have 5 performances throughout the season.
Okay.
The youth orchestras do 4.
That was my question. And are those at different times from the? I mean, they're not like following the.
They're around the same time frame.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're not the same day.
Not the same day. No.
Okay. So if I want to go see them and not you.
Exactly. You can do that without any hassle for me. So.
But so if people want to go to attend some of those concerts and kind of check them out from that aspect, they can go to your website and
go to our website and click on events, and they can see all the events listed for the organization.
Keep really busy.
We do.
Yeah.
And one of the beautiful things about this organization is we're constantly growing. And what's exciting for us is we have the 2 youth orchestras currently, but next season we're excited to announce that we'll be expanding to a 3rd orchestra. So we'll now have a beginning and intermediate, which will be called PACE, P-A-Y-C-E, which is the Pro Art Youth Chamber Ensemble, and that will serve our intermediate level students. And we'll have Opaco, of course, as our advanced orchestra.
As long as you've got an acronym, you're good, right?
Exactly. And we'll be adding a new opportunity, which will be a youth wind band, a symphonic wind band, and that'll be it's PASW is the acronym.
It's a little tougher, isn't it?
The closest we can come to is PAWS for the cuteness factor. But that will be open to all wind, brass, and percussion players from ages 10 to 23, and the focus will be to perform major band literature and also get an opportunity to do chamber wind music, which is something that you don't often get to experience.
So this is a great opportunity for the musicians in the area. Do the youth musicians often transition into the adult group?
Some do. We have a number of students that go on to college, study music, of course, study different fields. We get all sorts of interests, all sorts of backgrounds, all sorts of types of young students who are just hungry to play music and hungry to meet other musicians and to make beautiful music and develop their craft. Wow. We cater to all sorts of people.
I bet the backgrounds of the kids are very, very diverse.
Absolutely.
We can't talk about money really, but sometimes playing an instrument can be very expensive. Is there help for kids that want to be in play music? Are there organizations around that help kids with that kind of thing?
We do. The Royal Rosarians are generous sponsors of our youth program and provide financial aid scholarships for students who might have a financial need. So,
it can be expensive, and it's just one more thing a family might have to pay for. But it's something you'd hate to deny a kid, especially if they have the passion and any talent whatsoever.
Right. And our goal is to not turn down a student who's qualified and who has earned a position with one of our orchestras, to not turn them down for financial reasons or any other reason, to help them pursue what they love. And not only are the gracious donations by the Royal Rosarians, but we also accept donations from various private donors who will donate and say, put this towards a student scholarship.
That's my next question. So if I had a little extra cash here and I wanted to support a musician, say I want this to go toward, could I say I want this to go to somebody who plays the violin?
Absolutely.
Could I do that?
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's all easily done through our website. Just go to, you can find information about the youth orchestras, our concerts, and you can even find ways of donating and getting involved in the organization as a volunteer.
Great.
So.
So you do have other volunteer opportunities.
Yes. We're always in need of people to help with concert production, which can include working the front of house, helping with basic office stuff as far as getting
those are
concert
things I could
production
do as a non-musician.
Exactly. And we also need volunteers for the youth orchestra to help with running rehearsals, making sure that monitors are placed, and there are a lot of different things we can use help with.
That's great.
So if anyone's interested in volunteering, just get in touch with us, and we'll be happy to accept their time and assistance.
Well, we're almost out of time, and I do want to have a chance to listen to a little bit as we leave
Absolutely.
this show. So, spring fundraiser.
Spring fundraiser. We're in the midst of our spring fundraiser. We just had a kickoff event at Michelle's Pianos on April 19th, this past Sunday, where we had some young musicians play. We also had some of the musicians from the adult ensemble play. Susan Smith, who was one of our guest artists this season, came back and did some performing with us on the piano. And that kicks off our goal to raise $10,000 to help grow the youth orchestra opportunities, to increase the experiences that the students can get. And this kickoff will go through the end of May. So if anyone's interested to help us achieve that
Go to
goal,
the website.
Go to the website.
Okay, we're just about out of time, so I'm going to kick it back to them. I know there's another something going on, Vines of Spring, on Saturday, May 30th. Check out their website. In the meantime, thank you so much, but let's go out listening to some lovely music from the youth orchestra.
My favorite thing about community media is how people find their voice and tell their story.
It's the message of, by, and for a community.
We're a gathering place because it gets people of all sorts of different backgrounds underneath one roof.
It's art, it's technology.
A snapshot of our community.
Going live in 3, 2, 1.